Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Martin Drive Show. Welcome back to our continued coverage of the Russia and Ukraine crisis. One of the leading headlines right now is where President Xi and China will land on this scale. And if they will start aiding Russia, will that then escalate the world into another world war? Essentially U.S. and all of Europe against Russia and China. Kind of similar but different than the last time we were at this war. And well, President Biden, of course, has open communication with President Xi, and this is kind of a recap of their phone call to give us an idea of, well, to expect if the world might potentially end in the coming months.
As global pressure builds for China to condemn Russia's invasion of Ukraine, yesterday President Biden warned Chinese President Xi Jinping against helping Russia, saying there would be consequences. ABC's White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks is on the North Lawn with what we know about that conversation. Good morning, Mary Alice.
Well, good morning to you. The big glaring question is what exactly those consequences for China would be if it were to intervene here and help Russia with its invasion of Ukraine. These global economies are so intertwined, it could be incredibly tricky for the West to sanction China, but the White House is insisting that China would pay a price and that was President Biden's message to President Xi yesterday on this call. The White House released a photo of President Biden talking to President Xi. You see it there for nearly 2 hours, but the White House offered very few other details. A senior administration official,
as one would assume, if the details were good, they would be released, right? I would assume if President Xi in this conversation talked to Biden and the conversation was, yeah, you're right, Russia's wrong, we can't support them, let's see how this plays out or whatever. They wouldn't hide all that. They wouldn't hide the fact that Americans' tension and the world's tension should be able to go down a little bit. No. They would only not tell you these details because, A, I think it's very ignorant for any leader of any country to threaten another leader of another country. You should have an open conversation, and I hope in the 2 hours it was very respectful, very well thought out, and I'm sure it was because, headlines will be headlines. But my guess is the talks didn't go well. That's why they're not releasing these details. My guess is President Xi's like, look, dude, I'm doing the same thing. I can't really condemn them. In fact, I kind of support what they're doing, so I'm probably going to support them. And Biden's like, man, we can't let this happen. All this would happen. All this would happen. And back and forth with very little breakthrough. And I'm assuming that's why the White House has been slow to release any information about this call.
Official afterwards called it a direct, substantive, and detailed conversation, saying President Biden explained the consequences and implications if China were to aid Russia, either economically or militarily. And that's a major concern here, that China could actually send military tactical reinforcements. It's just hard to overstate the gravity of this moment. The U.S. is very aware that if China were to get involved, it could dramatically change the dynamics of this war. Russia and China have only grown closer recently. Last month, Xi and Russia's President Putin stood shoulder to shoulder. They said that their friendship had no limits. Now, after the call, China said in a statement, conflict and confrontation are...
Their friendship has no limits. This is so dumb. Who gives you two the right to then put, China's home to almost 2 billion people now. So let's just combine it, call it 2 billion total. Who gives you guys the right to put 2 billion people of your own people at risk because your friendship has no limits? Putin, your people don't want to be at war. Xi. Bro, I'm sure if you go to war, the Chinese people are going to protest. If they can. I don't really know how that looks in China. It is impossible to overstate, like this lady said, the gravity of this moment. If China steps into this war, especially militantly, that is the unraveling into World War III. I mean, it's really that simple.
Not in anyone's interest, but China has yet to denounce this war or even call it an invasion. And it was clear that even after this lengthy call, the U.S. was still worried about what China might do.
Obviously.
Highlights the global implications in this conflict. Mary Alice, thank you.
Well, hey.
Unfortunately, we gotta wait and see. This is still a waiting game, but if and potentially when President Xi says, yeah, we're back in Russia, yeah, they better decide whether you're fighting in World War III or finding a bunker, guys.